Hey class. So I thought that TED Talk was actually really interesting. It's been a topic that I've actually thought about in the past. And I think I wrote down a couple of notes about what I wanted to discuss. So the first one was the filter bubble. I think I became more aware of this when in Facebook, where they started to filter out whose news or whatever they would post. They limited what you could see. And I thought that was really interesting because the algorithm that they used was within a certain month, how many people that you would visit or would look on their page, like or comment. That's the ones that they would use. And then a couple of months later, then they would do it again. Well, if you're only looking at the information of one person, you don't know what's happening in somebody else's life, which is the same for all of our news searches or whatever social media throws in our face. It's all controlled by certain things that we're interested in. That's why there's a lot of data that's being collected from you. I do think that the news has a big part in controlling what we think or is actively available. You'll know more about the things that are happening right here in the US or in your local county than you would know about, say, Australia or, say, Japan. Of course, with the pandemic that's happening, that's when we started to have a little bit bigger of a view of what's been happening globally. However, that information is still through some sort of filter. So unless you actively search for the information, it's going to be hard to see another perspective. And I think that's huge for us today because it is almost like someone's controlling how you think. I think also the other part of it was the translations that you brought up about how the Chinese websites, they're just going through a computer automated translation. And I think that's kind of the same as with the filter bubble, right? Like where everything's translated to you that's being controlled by somebody else. It's not your filter, just like right in Snapchat, it's a filter that you want to see. And I think that's really interesting that I didn't know that there was a lot more Chinese websites out there than there even are English, and how somebody over in China is able to translate or get a group of people together to translate all these websites correctly into English for their for users, but yet over here in the US, we're unable to do so or don't want to. So I think that was interesting. The other part I thought was for the bridge figures. And right, most of those bridge figures are, well, portrayed as either a pro or a con, or someone that, right, is a pedestal and this is who we look up to, or someone that we don't like at all. And it really depends on where you're getting your information from, because you can also, once again, have that information through somebody else's eyes. Somebody else is writing this article or is like this doing a video and it's their opinion. And I think that's one of the hard things, is that we like things nowadays with the internet to be something that's a quick little clip. And instead of us going out and finding this information for ourselves, we'll just take the words as they are and not go and delve deeper into it. The other part that I really thought was interesting was how there are not just bridge figures, but I guess bridges to get into different cultures through music or, books, or movies, or for my case, like medicine. So it's interesting when you find that little niche or that particular topic that you're interested in, try to delve deeper into something else, like into a different culture, and see how they approach it or how their perspective is on it, because that will also open up other doors for culture for you. And then the last thing was xenophilia. He used the word, I did not know what it was. So I looked it up, and it was the love for a different culture or people. And I really liked that. And I think nowadays, a lot of things would be different if more people fell in love with different cultures or opened their eyes to it. So in regards for the questions, how do I think that social media and the internet can improve intercultural communication? I think it's a pro and a con, the internet. One, I do still think that it is actually more of a roadblock than it is of a bridge to communicate to others. But if you were interested, and that's the big thing, is that you need to be interested to actually keep on looking deeper in the internet to find something that was completely different than what you see in your textbooks or what's being taught in school or what's being told to you, then the internet becomes a great tool for you to go ahead and have all of these different opinions or facts or everything else that's at your fingertips. Instead of before the internet, you would have to go to a book, you would need to go to the library, and then you'd need to turn those pages instead of just control F and find the information like that. So I think that it could totally be. I know there's websites that right now, right, with people that are in need of just someone to talk to. And you can just post anonymous things of encouragement online so other people can read it, because some people need that in their life, especially now. The other question was, do I have any experiencing with contacting people of other cultures through the internet? Unfortunately, no. That is one of the things I think I would like to be able to do, further down the line, just because school is so hectic. But I always think it's great to have a discussion, an open discussion, open your mind and your thoughts to what somebody else has to say, because you don't know everything. And to have somebody else have a discussion with you, you guys can both learn from it. So I think that's great, right? Listening, that's what this class is about. And let's see, and if not, how do you think you could utilize this tool to spread beyond your culture bubble? Well, like I just answered, I guess it's because you can open up ideas that you didn't know that you had, or talk about topics that you didn't even know existed. So another thing that I really like is food. And so I watch a lot of food channels, a lot of other things on Netflix or whatever it may be, and it's about intercultural food, and just watching it, even if it's not in, English, I'll put the subtitles on, once again, translation, but I get to see how this food's made, or, it talks about, or it's through their culture, this food is being expressed. And for me, that makes it really exciting because I want to go there and I want to experience it for myself. So I guess, the internet isn't all that bad, but at the same time, you have to know how to use the tool in order to go ahead and get what you need or what interests you. Well, that's my talk. Hope to see everyone else's. Bye.